Just shout out Juicy Mac.
Keri Lynn Hilson, or simply Keri Hilson, born December 5th, 1982. I'm not done. I'm not finished. I'm not finished. I'm not finished. I ain't done. It took a second. A lot of things happened that prevented it. I blame it on one thing, but really it was years of a struggle. I fought through that, but I'm free and I'm ready. Keri Hilson's October 2023 response on R&B Money podcast to why she hasn't released a studio album since her 2010 No Boys Allowed that sold little over 200,000 copies to date. Reading it, it sounds like an artist reassuring themselves and fans not to believe in the general consensus that as far as music, they fell off, and it's more than likely a wrap for the potential they once had in music. And potential Keri Hilson definitely showed back in the late 2000s, early 2010s. I remember when she burst on the scene in 2008 to 2010 with songs like Turning Me On featuring Lil Wayne that went platinum, Pretty Girl Rock, also a platinum record, and Knock You Down featuring Kanye West and Neyo that went double platinum and became the #1 R&B song in the country, her only #1 R&B song of her career. In those times, Keri was seen as the new face of female R&B, and it seems she was poised to carry that title as she had all the qualities to do so, except the one that really mattered most, the ability to deal with the politics of the music industry and being famous in general. Mostly all unwritten ones that may have gotten her blackballed from then on. Her No Boys Allowed album and its final single Lose Control featuring Nelly in 2011 marked her final release until she returned from a decade-long hiatus with information about new music on the horizon, but that music still has yet to be released. Back then, the R&B world were used to Beyonce dominating the genre on the female side all throughout the 2000s, growing into the unofficial gatekeeper of sorts and queen of that scene, and as fans do, they grow and begin to want something new and fresh to hit the scene. They were excited with Keri Hilson's arrival, having all the intangibles that make a music star. She obviously had a great voice, the ability not just to make niche music, but hits and charting songs. She was also a writer that was heavily involved in the creation of her songs, and appearance-wise, she was beautiful and easy on the eyes, great for selling the music because, as we all know, how good is art that isn't popular enough to make money off it, at least in the business of entertainment? With potential came great expectations for Keri Hilson, ones she's failed to meet from a music industry standpoint, and at this point, the chances look cloudy that it's still possible as she believes. What happened to Keri Hilson's music career? Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth Music. Let's get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. Keri Hilson is a singer-songwriter from Decatur, Georgia that by 12 years old knew she wanted to do music as a future career. She'd take lessons as a vocalist instead of the piano lessons her parents sent her to take part in, and by 14 she'd receive her first record deal to be a part of a girl group that quickly disbanded. Throughout her teenage years, she leaned on her writing skills and wrote numerous songs for many popular artists like Mary J. Blige, Ciara, Omarion, Britney Spears, and more, while also being a background vocalist in the industry until she was introduced to Timbaland through producer Polo the Don, who signed her in 2006 to his label Mosley Music Group, an imprint of Interscope Records at the time. She released her debut album March 2009 behind her most popular hit Knock You Down, reaching gold status and the #4 album in the country. Stunt #1, The Beyonce Shade. When you begin research on Keri Hilson, the first 10 things that pop up all have to do with what was perceived as her shade toward Beyonce, causing her BEYHIVE fans to turn on the young singer, leading to what many believe was her blackball in the industry. It all started back in 2009 when Hilson released a remix to her hit song Turning Me On with lyrics that came off as shots at Beyonce and how fake she was, old, and needed to step aside for a new era of female R&B. Beyonce fans, as you know, are large in number and forceful on the internet toward anyone with anything displeasing to say about their shining light. The online trolling began and grew years later when Hilson stopped for a red carpet interview with Juicy magazine, who distastefully were asking other celebs to hold up a magazine with Jay-Z and Beyonce on the cover while shouting out the magazine itself. Other celebrities before Hilson played along to get along with the politics of the industry that basically felt like a ritual of acknowledgement that Beyonce and Jay-Z were the leaders of black music entertainment and everyone else need bow down to that unwritten ruling. As a free thinker and strong individual, Keri decided against holding up the magazine, and it further fueled the idea she had something against Beyonce, leading to more shade rumors and internet trolling, to which Keri admitted eventually broke her spirit. Not only did it do that, it made certain artists turn away from working with her, and publications important to the growth of an artist shy away all the same. As you all know, promotion is an artist's lifeline, and in the small window they have at being at the top of the genre, or even on their way there, you're almost forced to play along with those politics if you want to successfully jump through those windows of opportunity. She was essentially blackballed without anyone having to actually say it. But when you're an R&B singer who needs a certain caliber of writers to help you, certain caliber of producers to create a hit track for you, a certain caliber of promotion team, and fans who support your music, but you don't have their favor and seen as someone not to work with or else, there's only so much you can do. For Keri, putting out music anyway wasn't what she wanted to represent her, and so she almost had to step back from the spotlight. Sad, because I agree with her deciding not to hold up the magazine, in a tacky move asking celebs to do that anyway, knowing the egos they have to walk around with, placing them in an on-spot corner to do what we want or else. That essentially killed her career. Stunt number 2, too much time off. It's 2023, about to be 2024, and Keri Hilson hasn't released an official solo single since her 2011 Nelly collab Lose Control. That in itself should explain why she quote-unquote fell off in music, but the explanation for the hiatus is understandable and also sad that circumstances had to take such a bright young talent away from the game. In her R&B Money podcast interview, Hilson blamed the time off on years of dealing with depression, a personal relationship she's been in since 17 years old, and the passing of her father. In 2013, she expressed how the trolling from Beyonce fans weighed heavily on her spirit and made it difficult to find the peace of mind to create music. She admitted to being affected by years and years of abuse online for something she promises wasn't her intention. Along with that, she says her writing team were also going through a rough patch and division working together, and it stifled her creative abilities. As a writer and deep thinker, you can understand where Hilson is coming from, as writing for her is a process she held dear to her heart, as she feels it's a time she's closest to connecting with God. Whatever the case, whether it was the constant internet trolling and judgment that put her in a space no one wanted to work with her, or her and her team not being in a space they could create music, the time off was just too long. It's hard for any business to not release product for over 10 years and come back expecting to have the same amount of consumers. In music, it's career ending. Stunt number 3, still blackballed. At this point, Keri Hilson is ready and in a creative space she wants to release new music. Unfortunately, I'm not sure it'll have the chance to reach popular status and outside a niche group of Keri Hilson fans any longer. We spoke about the window artists have to create popularity, and in a genre like pop and R&B, a lot of it has to do with can you secure the right elements to lead to a popular single that leads to possibly a popular album. With rap, you're expected to write your own verses and songs, even though Drake has recently skewed that tradition. But in R&B, it's known that almost all the popular songs in its history has had multiple writers, producers, promotion team, makeup artists, you name it, and an R&B or female pop singer needs it. When you feud with the most beloved living artists in the black community, then take 12, 13 years off, and at this point outside connecting to the youth, it's difficult to bounce back and reactivate a career that's really supposed to be winding down. If you can secure all those needed things, certainly you can make it happen, but who would be willing to work with Keri at this point that doesn't have ties to Beyonce or hopes of creating ties with her and afraid of what it could look like if they work with Keri? If blackballing is real, then it all makes sense. If it's not, then here's to Keri Hilson at 41 years old making a comeback and pushing play on her once superstar potential. All in all, Keri Hilson had great opportunity to have a superstar run throughout the 2010s had she played ball with the politics of the music industry, but gains respect for putting her career on the line not to be a follower and industry puppet. Great entertainer who deserves another shot at a successful career lost to circumstances. Salute, much respect, but for these reasons, her growth was stunted. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth Music, and I'm out.